All right, today we are diving into something really special, the Guqin. Now, on the surface, it's an ancient Chinese seven-string zither. But if you just call it an instrument, well, you're missing the entire point. This thing, it's more like a piece of philosophy that you can actually hold in your hands and play. So let's get into what makes it so much more than just strings and wood.
You see, for literal thousands of years, the whole idea behind playing the Guqin wasn't about becoming famous or being some kind of rock star virtuoso. Not at all. The real pursuit was something deeper. It was about finding a kind of harmonious unity with the natural world. Think of it as a form of spiritual practice. The beautiful music, that's almost a side effect, a result of the journey, not the end goal.
So that really is the big question, isn't it? How can just 7 strings hold all that meaning? That's what we're going to unpack together. We're going to look at everything, from the way it's physically built to its totally unique musical language, and you'll see how every single detail is designed to connect the person playing it, the person listening, and yeah, the entire universe.
Okay, so to really get our heads around the idea, we've got to start with the object itself. The Guqin isn't just built, it's crafted to be a miniature version of the entire cosmos. Every single part of it is packed with intention and just incredible symbolism. So if you break it down, it's pretty simple on the surface. It's a sound chamber, basically, made from 2 planks of wood. You've got a rounded top board that's usually a lighter wood called tong wood, and then a flat bottom board made from a heavier wood, zumu. But trust me, this combination is not random. As you're about to see, every little detail is just soaked in meaning.
And here it is, laid out perfectly. The philosophy is literally built into its shape. That rounded top board, that's heaven. The flat bottom board represents earth. Its length, 3 feet 6.5 inches, symbolizes the 365 days in a year. And get this, those 13 little mother-of-pearl dots that mark the notes, that's for the 12 months of the lunar calendar, with 1 extra for the leap month. The instrument is a calendar. It's a map of the cosmos in your lap.
This quote from the Rhapsody on the Zither is just fantastic. It shows that even where the wood came from was seen as sacred. We're not talking about just any old timber. This was wood that was believed to have been nurtured by the sun, the moon, by heaven and earth. The material itself was thought to hold the essence of the universe before a craftsman ever even touched it.
So, if the body of the Guqin is a mini cosmos, then what about its sound? Well, that's considered the voice of nature. And believe me, the music it creates is every bit as deep and philosophical as the wood it's made from.
You know, the earliest sheet music for the Guqin wasn't anything like what we use today. There were no notes on a staff. Instead, it was just text. Purely descriptive, explaining every single movement of the fingers, every little gesture. Now, over time, that evolved into a kind of shorthand with abbreviated characters, but the basic idea never really changed.
And this difference is so important to understand. Western notation is all about mathematical precision, right? You hit this exact pitch for this exact amount of time. But Guqin notation, it's all about timbre, the quality of the sound, and pure expression. It gives the player a ton of flexibility because the point isn't just hitting the right notes. The real goal is to capture the right feeling, the right emotional texture.
The instructions themselves are just beautiful, almost poetic. The fingering charts use metaphors pulled straight from nature to describe the kind of sound you're supposed to make. So a player isn't just told, play a C sharp. No, they're guided by images of landscapes or animals or stories from mythology. It's no wonder people call it painting with sounds.
And it makes sense then that the song titles and themes are almost always about nature. You'll find pieces about springs flowing over stones, wild geese landing on sandbanks, clouds floating over rivers, the changing seasons. The music is a mirror, a direct reflection of the player's deep connection to the world around them.
Which, of course, brings up a big question. This is clearly about more than just appreciating pretty landscapes. Why? Why was the natural world so completely, totally woven into every single part of this music? Well, the answer is in the philosophy that underpins everything. You could call it the soul of the music. And this is where we make the leap from talking about a musical instrument to talking about a spiritual practice.
The key idea here is something called Qin Dao, which literally means the way of the Qin, and this is the absolute core of it all. Playing the Guqin isn't just for entertainment, it's seen as a kind of meditation. It's a practice, a discipline for getting yourself in tune with the Dao, the natural flowing order of the entire universe.
And according to the ancient philosopher Shunzi, this isn't some high-minded, inaccessible thing. It's actually rooted in a really basic human need. He said, music is joy. And what's amazing is that in Chinese, the written characters for music and joy are actually the same. So the act of making music is seen as this essential, fundamentally joyful part of being human.
So how does someone actually get to this state of unity? Well, like any truly deep skill, it's a journey. It's about moving from that clumsy, conscious, difficult effort to a place of intuitive, almost effortless action. And there's this fantastic Daoist story that just perfectly captures this whole journey. It's the parable of Guqin, a butcher who was so unbelievably skilled that what he did looked like magic.
See, when Guqin first started, all he could see was the whole ox. He was clumsy, hacking away, but after 3 years of dedicated practice, something changed. He stopped seeing the ox as just one solid thing. Instead, he started to perceive the spaces within it. His knife would just glide through the gaps, totally effortlessly. His spirit was free. He wasn't thinking anymore. He was just responding to the natural structure of the animal. His skill became so intuitive, so perfect, that his knife stayed sharp for 19 years.
This state has a name. It's called Wu Wei. You often hear it translated as non-action or effortless action. It's that feeling of being in the zone, that state of flow where you are so completely in tune with what you're doing that your actions just happen. They're spontaneous, and they're perfect for the moment. For a Guqin master, this is the ultimate goal, to play not from your thinking mind, but from a place of deep, gut-level intuition, a place that's way beyond simple technical skill.
And you know, this whole pursuit was never meant to be a lonely one. The Way of the Yang has always created these amazing communities and connections, some of which have lasted for centuries.
There's this really powerful example from right after World War II, the Tianfeng Qin Society in Chongqing. It brought together this incredible mix of people. You had local masters, highly respected scholars, a Dutch diplomat, and even a famous general. What brought them all together? They were all united by their shared passion for this instrument and its philosophy. It just completely transcended all of their different backgrounds.
And that really brings us to a final thought to leave you with. The Guqin teaches a path of patience, doesn't it? It's about finding harmony not just in the notes you play, but within yourself and with the world around you. You know, in our world that's so obsessed with quick results and instant gratification, this ancient practice offers something completely different. It asks us to slow down, to really listen, and to find meaning not in the final product, but in the process itself, in the simple, profound act of seeking the way.